Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Brandon Mason Show. Let me tell you something. I had a long weekend, but I got to tell you, this morning's been a longer morning with the functionality here coming on to the show. We're talking about the Miami Dolphins, and I apologize. I really came on here this morning. Let me tell you something. Before we dive into the show today, the feeling you get that goes through your body when you're talking, you have all these computers and monitors up here, and you're trying to build the show, and people are like, I can't hear you. The feeling that goes through your body is like, what the fuck is going on, number one. And number two, everyone that's coming here is going, what the hell is this guy even saying? Like, what the hell? Anyway, welcome back to the show. If you guys can hear me, put a Y in the chat. We're fixing the functionality. We got the new lights on. Everything is coming in close. We got all the freaking glares missing from the background. Life is good. But as you go through and build the show, all these new things start to happen. So I apologize for that. If you were on your live stream this morning and you saw it pop on and pop off, I'm so sorry. We got everything fixed. We're ready to rock and roll. We're diving into the Miami Dolphins. For all you guys that jumped in here, throw the dice in the chat. Good morning to all you guys, all the Mason mobsters out there that are rocking and rolling through the ups and downs, the roller coaster rides of the show as we build and expand our platform. Guys, welcome back to the show. Let's dive into it right now. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. As you guys know, Tua got paid big time money. If you're coming for the first time, hit the like button. If you've been here before, smash that like button, put a comment in the chat, because holy shit, today is rocking and rolling. But let's get right into it right now. As you know, Tua, the Miami Dolphins ink a new deal worth over $200 million. In the chat right now, what would you buy with $200 million? Like, if you got $200 million today, like Tua just got, what the hell would you buy? Drop it in the chat right now. I just want to know what you guys would do. And look, I'm looking forward to this conversation today, because there's a lot of people out there that said he should not get it. A lot of people that said he should get the money, but they came to a situation at the table where they made it freaking work. So anyway, long story short, how do you guys feel about it? Tua rolling in the money, rolling in the dough. The cash is flying out. The Miami Dolphins solidified their quarterback for the next 4 years. I think it's $212 million to be exact, money in the deal. 4 years, a lot of guaranteed money. Serious situation. Do you think, what was the reason behind that? We're going to a second why they had to do it. But they inked this deal. It comes to the table, and we're talking about the quarterbacks they got, the depth chart, the stats. We also have right here the stats of what, Tua has brought to the Miami Dolphins with the weapons, with the players they got, with Tyreek Hill, Jaylen, Waddle, OBJ. We're going to that. Coach McDaniel, this year's situation with the playoffs and who's in their division. Is it their year? And let me drop it in the chat right now, because I had it in the polls for you guys. I had everything lined up, and Lord knows what just happened in the feeling that went through my body. Let me see. The Dolphins get to the Super Bowl. We're dropping that in the chat right now for an actual poll. I want to see what people are thinking right now. I can't even see. My eyes are so damn bad. But will the Dolphins get to the Super Bowl? In the chat right now? On there, yes or no. Put it in the poll. Pick your answer, yes or no, as we give forward. And we're spinning the wheel today, too. We're spinning the wheel. We're giving away some money. And look, again, I apologize. We're going to keep diving onto this platform. Anyway, they make a deal. They make it happen. The Dolphins come to the table. A lot of people said yes. A lot of people said no. They said he earned it. They said it doesn't matter. Injuries. They ink a deal. And here's the picture again to pull up. The Miami Dolphins, over $200 million. But here's the question. Okay, let me pull this up for a second. Why did the Dolphins offer this massive contract? Why did they do that? Do people think that the other teams would have given him that money? Right? That's one thing. Almost like, I'm not comparing him to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has not done what Tua has done. I'm not making that comparison. But what I'm saying is the Giants offered all that money to Daniel Jones, and all those other teams were nowhere near going to offer that. So it was like, why did you offer that much? Here's the thing. The Miami Dolphins had Tua on the roster for the last 4 years. I'm going to go into what his stats are in a second. But they came up and they said, look, we got a relationship right here. McDaniel, obviously, and you got Tua. They have a great relationship. The team has a great relationship. The team likes Tua. The people on the roster, they think he's a leader. He's a good person, not out there getting in trouble, doing the right things. This is part of on the field and off the field, that you have to measure in your quarterback. A guy who's going to be in the city, working with the public, working with the locals, restaurants, businesses, getting your jersey out there. You don't see Tua all that much. but he's got a family now. He's got a kid. So all this is starting to roll into the measure of growing up. He's still super young. Like when I pull up some of his stuff running into his stats, he's still super, super young. So the big question is, why did they offer all that money? It almost comes down to the principal point. Like every starting quarterback in the National Football League nowadays is making big money, except for Brock Purdy, who's going to get that deal. We're also going to talk about the Packers, how they offered their guy Jordan Love big time money also. But right now, over $200 million, it was like they had to come to the table with something, right? Obviously, they put him in the game. And I think some of the people that had the health risk, which we'll go into in a second, guys got fired like on the team, put him back into the game. The doctor was like, oh, he's good to go. They have to come back and do something for the family, for Tua. And not to mention, he has put up numbers, right? We can't forget his gameplay. He's put up numbers. He has a lot of weapons around him, which we're going to talk about here right now. But the relationship of him and Coach McDaniel is important. That's a big-time deal for the team organization to bring him that money. And I think just overall, the team likes him. They want him around. And he came from Hawaii. Now he is a Miami Dolphin. People in Miami happen to like him. But here's the question, right? Is Tua a risky quarterback considering concussions? Do you think this is a risky move for the Miami Dolphins, right? And let's go here for a second. This is a lot of memories that people have, and I hate to throw this up here on the screen and make it look like, oh, I wouldn't have done it. But here's the real concern right now. Tua is considered, in a lot of people's eyes, a little risky, right? Due to concussions, being on the ground. You see this picture right here. And again, Mahai, thank you for the super chat. It's been a rough morning. You know what time it is. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Appreciate that, Maha. I greatly appreciate that. You know it's been a rocky morning right here. But let's take a look at this right now. Is Tua a risky quarterback considering concussions? And I'm just saying, I like Tua. He's a great person. I've been putting that out there just to have conversation to see if you're in charge of the franchise. You got to put yourself in that seat too. Like, I'm in charge of the franchise. I make the decisions. I sign the players. I bring in the players that I want. Do you think that Tua is risky business? I mean, realistically, you're looking at a man who's out there and he's a great player. He's made a lot. I'm going to pull up his stats in a second, but I have that picture here, and just to pull it up a little bit closer for you. When you see a guy like this on the field, your teammate on the field, your family sees you on the field, this is important stuff. And why I bring this up, why I brought this up in the past, is because there's a reality behind football. These are human beings. A lot of these guys are young players. Like, Tua's not old by any stretch. We're going to go into that in a second as well. But his family's watching, teammates are watching, family's watching. These are some of the things you have to think about, right? And Tua, I'm not saying that, not to knock him in any kind of way. I like Tua. I like what he brings to the table. Stepping up and getting this money is a big-time deal for him and his family. They solidify pretty much their future, right? Like, you make this kind of money, a lot of players don't get that chance. They make money, they get an original contract, they get out there, they play, and if they don't sign that extension or that big-time deal, they don't get a chance to retire and never work again. This is retire, never work again kind of money, investment kind of money, and I think that they had to come to the table with something and offer this. But the question is it risky? I got to tell you, if I'm the owner of the franchise and I'm looking at Tua, seeing him on the ground, I'm like, hey, buddy's putting up numbers. He's making things happen, and that's what we're going to get to in a second. We're going to get to the stats that Tua brought in, his career stats with the Miami Dolphins. I got a lot of cool stuff to bring to you guys here. And I was like, man, how many touchdowns did Tua throw for? How many yards did Tua throw for? And, what is his actual career stats? I'm going to pull it up here just to make sure I have a lot of stuff with the Miami Dolphins here. But coming into the franchise 2020, right? You're talking right here. Let me shut this down so I can see here. 12,000 career total yards. Got there every year he's progressed. Every year he's progressed. Over 1,000, over 2,000, over 3,000, over 4,000 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, a little more interceptions, in these games, but more career stats. The rating, the rating is going up. I mean, he's doing his thing. He's making it happen. A lot of people would say, look, this is a good deal. We're paying a great quarterback. A lot of people jump on and love what he does. And I'm just like, I like what he does too. I'm just saying, instead of looking at it like a family member or someone that on the team or something like that, something that you ride with Tua because you're a friend or a family, I'm saying, is it risky business to pick him up if, in fact, you are the owner of the operation? Look, there's a lot of stats here, a lot of stats for the team. I think that he's a great player. We've been talking about that for a long time. He brings a lot to the table. But more importantly, let's move on to this right now. We're going to get back to Tua. Miami Dolphins talent surrounding Tua. Right? That's the real concern right now we have to go over, right? And not a concern in the sense of a bad thing, just that's hypothetically what we're looking at. Who does Tua have on his team? And let me tell you something, he's got a lot of weapons, starting with Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle. Great teammates, obviously guys he can throw the ball to any given time, short passes, little dump screens. I mean, this puts Tua in a chance, this puts Tua in a position to come out onto the field looking like this, right? Like, I got people around me. Like, a lot of people look into the Miami Dolphins and they wonder, okay, will they be good with Tua? It isn't really just Tua at this point. The Miami Dolphins are really circling the entire operation around him, but bringing in talent every freaking, I mean, we look at the roster, Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, and we can't forget what they just did. Like, they brought in OBJ to add to all this. All these weapons are building up. In the chat right now, you can see a lot of people are saying they will not get to the Super Bowl. But let me break down their players and who they're bringing in. And I had this picture before. It was like Tyreek Hill saw OBJ was joining the roster too. It's like, geez, we got a lot of players. And I think that is the real deal right now. Tua has a lot of talent around him. And they're going, the last piece of the pie is to get the operation lined up with our quarterback for a little bit longer, right? We don't want to say this is his last year. We're looking for another quarterback. They got to make a decision. That's really what it comes down to. They got to make a decision. And when they made the decision, they said, look, we got Tua that can come back and knows the operation. He knows what's going on. He knows the players. He comes out, he runs the offense. He fought through adversity. When he's injured, he gets back up and gets back out there. Even in college, this guy had some issues before the draft started, and it was like, this guy's really hurt. Fought through that. He's getting hit by NFL-type defensive linemen, corners, linebackers, blitzing. He's been down this road. He's not moving around the pocket like I would like to see, that I know he has the ability to do, scramble outside the pocket, make plays with his legs. I think that's important this day and age. I know you don't want to get hit. We want to keep these players safe. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. You don't want these guys to get hit when they're running down the sideline. But at the end of the day, Tua needs to be two-dimensional, go back, play action passes. I like to talk about that. And I think what they're missing right now, I'm not saying they don't have a tight end, but what I'm saying is they need a beast tight end to be a guy wide open, can make plays. Linebackers have to cover for Tua to have another outlet. You got Jaylen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, OBJ, and we can't forget they even have Mostert too. I didn't even go into that picture. I forgot to pull this up about the talent surrounding Tua. We can't forget the running game, right? Raheem Mostert is doing it, right? Making plays, scoring touchdowns, breaking tackles, opening up the play action pass for Tua, which is so damn important. I'm just saying, here he is, another picture of him in the end zone, scoring, making plays. These are some of the things, these are some of the things that people would say, look, he's surrounded by so much talent that it's so hard to say, look, a lot of people say the Dolphins won't make the Super Bowl, but I'm going to go into right now and understand to see what you guys think. Will they get to the Super Bowl? Here's the question. Here's some of the teams you got to look at right now. The Patriots, okay, the Bills, the Jets. This is a division right now we got to take a look at. Who will win the division? Will the Miami Dolphins win this division? Yes or no in the chat right now. Can anybody in this division beat the Dolphins? The Jets, the Patriots, will they beat the Dolphins? And then you got the Buffalo Bills, who always have a tough franchise, obviously. Lost Stephon Diggs, picked up some other players. Who will win this division right now? In the chat, will the Miami Dolphins win this division? Because if they can win the division, right, and they win some games, there they are back in the playoffs again. So here's the opportunity. Who will they have? Who will they face? And again, before we even go into that, I had those pictures, obviously with Mostert. They got Jaylen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, OBJ. But this is the relationship I was talking about that they have. I think this is so important. This is what, quarterbacks dream of, having a coach that they like, a guy they can, be coached by. Little different dynamic. And we went into the whole situation with, with McDaniel, like a little goofy, a little wild, a little like having fun out there. The players like him. He's the people's coach, right? Around the National Football League, people are like, okay, this guy's interesting. And they made a lot of memes, right? Like he's the coach that shows up and coaches, almost like his dad is out of town, his parents out of town, he's throwing a party. They made all these funny memes. But look, when you're winning games, it's important. But did they win against good teams? Right? That was the biggest thing last season was, did the Miami Dolphins beat teams that were good or just teams that are 500 and low, right? That was what people talked about last season. Tua getting paid this money, it had to come somewhere. They had to draft a quarterback and pay big time money, or they had to go after Tua and say, look, we're going to give you a lot of money. And they couldn't give him a measly $20 million a year because all these starting quarterbacks in National Football League getting to the playoffs are making big-time money. So they had to come out of pocket and pay something. So at the end of the day, over $200 million to Tua. And then you look at the stadium and you say, look, he's got to come out. He's got to come out, and he's got to come out tough. They got to win football games right away. They got to come out. They got to come out and win right now. This is Tua's opportunity. He's surrounded by so much talent. Right here, the Dolphins logo lined up at the 50-yard line. He is literally surrounded by so much talent. I mean, so much talent. And when I look at, when I take a look and I go, who does he have? And I look at Jaylen Waddle and I look at Tyreek Hill and then I see OBJ. You might say OBJ is kind of washed up, getting older. A lot of people would say that. But at the end of the day, it's another outlet. He doesn't have to be a first receiver or a second receiver. He could be a third receiver, a guy that you go to when you need him. OBJ can still get you those possession catches, those first downs. On 2nd and 8, he gets that first down. On 3rd and 4, he catches that 8-yard hitch route, or whatever the case may be. He can still run routes. The injuries obviously held him back. I like what Tua brings to the table. I don't know in the chat right now. I'm not sure, obviously, that he could bring him to the Super Bowl, but the talent around him is pretty damn strong. Most of the running back position, like I said, the 2 receiver weapons. If the offensive line protects Tua, they have a tough offense this year. But hey, before we head into closing out today, I want to thank you guys. Throw the dice in the chat and throw the wheel in the chat because we're going to spin it right now. We're going to give away some money to a lucky person that's in the live stream right freaking now. Let's do that. Let's get the wheel spinning. Throw the wheel in the chat. And I apologize. I had to rush through today because I know we're 10 to 10:30. We had some issues, obviously, with the production. I apologize. We're expanding our show very quickly with sponsors coming in. You're going to see the logos coming up, the new guys coming on the show, a lot of athletes coming on the show. So I'm trying to do as much as I can to get this production amazing for you guys. And the difficult part of the pie is as we make all these changes to the studio, there is some functions that have to, move on. It's like putting a new transmission in a car, a new engine in a car. You're like, okay, we have to change a couple things, get an oil change, right? So at the end of the day, we're making this thing happen. We're getting ready to spin the wheel right now for a lucky person that gets randomly selected in the chat right now. Drop the wheel now. I see him coming in. Put your favorite team in the chat right now if you can. Put your lucky numbers in the chat. It's going to pick a lucky person to spin the wheel right freaking now. And I appreciate you guys jumping on, rocking with me through the ups and downs of this. It's going to be very interesting. And we have a live game coming up. I think we have a Hall of Fame game coming on Wednesday. As early as this Wednesday, we're doing night games. Remember, we're doing night games. Whatever game preseason, they're throughout the week, but night games are in the season, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. They will always be night games unless it's over in London. We might have some of that live on the schedule. And right now, we're going to spin the wheel right now for you guys. A lucky person is being selected right now. I see it going through. It's going through. Bang, bang, bang. Leave some messages right now. I see the teams coming in. I see, put your birthday in the chat. One more message, randomly picking someone right now. I see it going through. We'll get the wheel lined up out here too. All right, we have someone selected right now. I'm going to drop the person that's selected right now into the live stream. That's going to spin the wheel. Here we go. Bang, we got Roger spinning the wheel right now this morning. So we're getting ready to rock and roll and spin it. Roger, if you're ready to go, put yes in the chat. Everybody else, put a money bag in the chat. Let's wish them luck because we all know there's a lot of money on the spin, on the live stream, but there's also some red X's out there that we don't want to, to get mixed up with. We want you to make some money. Hold on a second. Let's not spin it yet. We were getting ready to. Are you ready to go? Drop the money bags in the chat right now. Hopefully you make some money. I can't depict if you do or not. Let's get the wheel front and center right here. Bang, here we go. Let's spin it right now. Go ahead. Let's see what we got. Go ahead. Oh, that's a good spin. That's a good spin. A little harder than I would have spun it, but hey, it's rocking right now. The wheel is spinning. What do we got? What do we got right now? Are we making money or not on the live stream? Are we making $200 million? Are we catching Tua right now? Let's spin it and see what happens here. And then we're going to have our daily doubles. We're going to have our doubles coming up and some free pizzas lined up on here too. What do we got here? Okay, we got a 10. We got a 10. We got a 10. We got a 10. All right, that's it. Hey, look. 10 is better than an X. We got a 10 going out there. Now, also, you get a chance to gift 10. Don't pick who you're picking right now. But, Uncle Raj, you also get to pick somebody to throw a 10 to Also, so right now, everybody in the chat, put pick me. He's going to pick a lucky person, a lucky random person to throw $10 back to in the live stream. He gets 10, and he gets to pick a lucky person to get 10 this morning in the live stream. And I got to tell you, I greatly appreciate every freaking person that rocked with us during this morning's craziness, man. Like, legit, like, we're out here rocking and rolling, and I'm like, we're live streaming. You can't hear me? What the hell is going on? All right, so what are we looking at right now? Put it back in the show, Uncle Rod. Look, we got it, man. Listen, we got a lot going on here. Candy, all right, Candy. He gifted Candy. We appreciate that. It's going out to Candy. Candy, you're getting gifted that 10. That's going out to you. We greatly appreciate that. And I cannot wait for our games coming up. Remember, our play-by-plays, our live action shows are going to have thousands of people in here. It's going to get crazy in the live stream. Just want to tell you guys, I appreciate you guys jumping on here, rocking with me this morning. I can't thank you guys enough. I won't harp on that. I will tell you, it is a pain in the, you know what, when you get on here talking and shit's not working well. But as we get moving, we expand our show. We're going to be doing some hiring from within the Mason mob to jump on here and work from home to help out the show as we do some hiring and get rocking and rolling. But look, Tua made a lot of money. We're happy for Tua. Inked the new deal. I think that realistically, he's a good quarterback. He has some stats here. He's been progressing every year. So we're not knocking him in any way, shape, or form. The thumbnail says why, not because I'm questioning his talent, but because I want to know why. What you guys think? The question remains, will Tua bring him to the Super Bowl? Because anytime you pay $200 million, you got to get past the first round of the playoffs. You got to get deep into the playoffs, past those wild card games, and you got to get to the Super Bowl, or you start looking around going, what are we missing right now? And I'm going to end the poll right now for you guys to see actually what was picked here. I think you guys can see it, but if you can't, I just ended the poll right there. What is it, 90%? Let me see. 92% said the Miami Dolphins will not get to the Super Bowl. So you can see right there, it's in the live stream right now. Look, I appreciate you guys. We have a lot going on. I know today was a little crazy as we get through it through the week. We have our live games. I will be announcing through your email and also during our live show tomorrow of our first game live play-by-play. We're out here. We have guests coming on the show. We have obviously players coming on the show and all that. But I will be announcing tomorrow right away live for you guys to know our first live show. I'll let you know tomorrow for the play-by-plays for the game. So when you're watching the game, look, it's on your TV. You put it on and you mute it. You put on the YouTube channel, and you're going to hear all this action. I have the sound from the game anyway. So you'll get the game coming in just like you won, but you also get our live interaction and live fun and opportunities to make money during the show. And I have a big opportunity. I'm going to tell you guys out. We got a fantasy football league coming, and we have a sponsor of fantasy football that wants to jump on with us and come into the show. You're going to love that, and you can bet during the actual game. It's money you can actually bet at first. That's not even money you got to put in. You get a chance to say, hey, who's going to get this many receiving yards? Are they going to kick a field goal? Are they going to score a touchdown? During the game, live on our platform, play-by-plays, you'll be able to bet, and I'll be doing my bets too. So if you want to rock with me and bet with me, great. And if you want to pick your own bets, you can do that too. I'm looking so forward to doing that and hanging out with you guys in the chat right now. Drop the dice in the chat. Drop the American flag in the chat. I appreciate you guys, and I will be reading all of your messages during the live play-by-plays. I'll be clicking on them, pulling it up on the screen, as you guys know, which we're going to start doing right away, and all those messages in there. Make sure you guys interacting and communicating back and forth, because you guys can see everything going on during our live show. Again, I greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate you guys hanging out during the craziness. I got to drop that in there.
Make some noise!
Because you know it's a lot going on. So long story short, I will see you guys soon on social media. We'll be rocking and rolling as well. If you're on Instagram, send me a direct message on here. I will follow you guys back. And I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys rocking with me today through all the craziness. But tomorrow live in the morning, we'll begin at 9:55, rocking and rolling. Get on here early. Don't come late. I'm going to start spinning the wheel early for people that come into the show early. That's the new thing going on. We're going to start spinning the wheel for people that are in here early on the show only, which means if you can hear early, you get a chance to start making some money early on in the show. 9:55 tomorrow. Be on here early, 9:55 Eastern Standard Time. And the countdown starts at 10, but be here early. We'll start giving us some money bright and early. I will see you guys soon. It is Monday. Have a good rest of your Monday. It's the morning. I kind of screwed up, as you know, this show, but I'm happy that you guys rocked with me. And tomorrow, heading into Tuesday, We have some NFL talk, another team to pop up and talk about, and then we get to a live preseason game, Hall of Fame games coming up. I'm going to announce that tomorrow, and I'm going to announce our special guests that are going to come in here and hang out with you guys. All I'm saying is Tua got a lot of money, a shit ton of money, and do you think it was deserved, yes or no? Will they get to the Super Bowl, yes or no? These are questions that we will find out very soon as the preseason starts. We got our players coming on the field. The starters will play hopefully more than a quarter. Some of them will do a couple drives. I like for them to play a whole first quarter. Second preseason, they play a whole half. That's how it used to be, right? And then into the preseason, then they're playing the whole game. We're going to have our play-by-plays live for you guys to watch. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Everybody in here, throw the dice in the chat so I can announce you guys. Make sure you smack that like button right now. Let me see who's in here right now. Miss Lex, Kenyatta, Candy, Annie, Jeff, everybody that's in here. Raj, Pitbull, Mama, Brittany's in here helping us out. We appreciate you guys. Tracy, everyone that I didn't say your name, I'm trying to scroll way back up. I knew there was a lot of people that popped in here early on and things got a little crazy. Remember this. This is so important you guys do this. When I sign off right now, this is so important. You guys got to hear this. When I sign off right now, give it like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. When it closes out, I want you to refresh. When you refresh, leave a comment on the video. Not on the side of the video right here, on the video. I need you guys to do this after every live stream. It's going to push our videos out crazy. Soon as this is over and it's done, refresh it and leave a video on the actual video that uploads to YouTube, okay? Do that and you're going to see this thing growing crazy. I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 9:55. Again, thank you for you guys rocking and rolling through the craziness. I will see you guys soon, guys. Until next time.